Can you guys believe that Jesus was once a little kid just like you? I mean, okay, so we talked about Christmas. We know Jesus was a baby, right?
When it's Christmas.
And now we're talking about Easter, and we know Jesus was a man, right?
He was an Easter man, not.
And we see him on the cross whenever we see a cross most of the time.
On the picture too.
I know. So
I see him on the picture.
yeah.
And, you know, I saw God. No, I saw
We haven't really talked about Jesus as being a little boy, but he was a little boy. And a lot of the things that Jesus did when he was a little boy are a lot like things that you guys do now, being 4 and 5. So look at my poster. This is a picture of the Holy Family. Does anybody remember what Jesus' mom's name is? Mary. Mary's right here too. Jesus' mom's name was Mary, and if you look at Mary in this picture, she's sitting in her family room, in her house, with a basket of laundry next to her that she probably just finished washing. Does your mom and dad do laundry at your house using the washer and the dryer?
Yeah.
They're a lot like Mary and Joseph then, because she's doing laundry too. And then here's Joseph. Joseph's playing with Jesus. Does your daddy play with you at home?
My daddy tickles me a lot. My sister. My daddy.
So Joseph's a lot like your daddy, right? He likes to play with his kids, and Joseph was his little, or Jesus was his little boy. Now let's look at Jesus. So Jesus is standing here playing with his puppy dog. Jesus had a dog. Jesus had a pet, and he's holding a little birdie in his hand. Maybe he's playing a game with his dog. Raise your hand if you have a pet at home.
I have 2 dogs. I have 2.
2 dogs?
And one time, I have 2 dogs. Gave us a pet for one day, but they were the first with no hair. Mama didn't like.
Oh.
So I like
Okay. All right. So listen. So Jesus had pets at home just like we did, and I bet you he had to help his mom and dad take care of his puppy like we do, like giving fresh water and food and maybe letting the puppy outside to go potty. So it doesn't seem like his family's very different than ours, even though he was a king, right?
It was bad.
No, Jesus wasn't a bad king. He was a gentle king. But he was a pretty normal person. So I'm going to read you this story, and it's called When Jesus Was a Little Boy. Scoot up a little.
I can't see which one to see this because now one looks like Jesus and now it's...
Well, this is Jesus, and that's Mary, and that's Joseph. That's Jesus' dad on earth. And Jesus' dad up in heaven is God, right? And then you can see his friends running around behind him. Jesus had friends just like you guys are friends. That's a lot alike too.
That's a lot of friends.
I know. So here's the title page. It says, When Jesus Was a Little Boy. And if you can see the picture, he's holding a toy and a book in his hand. Wait, Jesus likes to read too? Just like us?
Even Jesus got the Jesus book?
He's more and more like us.
Wait, Jesus got a Jesus book?
I don't know if it's a Jesus book, but it's a book he liked to read. Maybe he read the Bible. I don't know. So when Jesus was a little boy, he laughed and played like you.
I love to play and I have a pen with a lot of toys.
You can see he's playing with his toys outside in his yard. He lives in the desert where it's hot, so he doesn't have a whole lot of grass around, but he's playing in the sand.
I have a bin with a lot of toys and I like to play with them inside my house.
Yeah, so you're a lot like Jesus was. He climbed up trees and skinned his knees, and sometimes he would cry too.
And he hurt me.
He did. So he gets boo-boos, just like we all get boo-boos. And sometimes Jesus has bad days and feels like he wants to cry. Who makes him feel better when he feels sad?
He Johnson.
His mom, right? Do your moms make you feel better when you're feeling sad?
My daddy does instead.
Your daddy does?
I mean, not my daddy or my mama, not myself, my elbow. And hurt my knee.
Okay, so when Jesus was a little boy, he played with lots of friends. He shared his games and toys with them and loved to play pretend.
Where's he at?
You guys like to do that when you're on the playground too.
I see him. See him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Have a seat. Well, that happens sometimes with brothers, right? But this looks like our whole preschool class playing outside. All right. Oh, when Jesus was a little boy, he loved his mommy so. Raise your hand if you love your mommy. I love my mommy.
Me too.
See, we all do that. Oh, this is important though. He listened carefully to her words to learn what he should know. Do you guys listen and do what your moms ask you to do when you're at home?
Yeah.
Do you try your best?
Sometimes when I do the things and it's boring, when they tell me to, I don't want to, but I do. But they're
Right.
still mad at me.
I know. Sometimes there's things we don't want to do, but we do it anyway because we know our moms know what's good for us, right? Oh, and here's Joseph. When Jesus was a little boy, he asked the question, why? He was careful to find out first and then brave enough to try. So Joseph, Jesus' daddy on earth, he liked to build things with wood and tools. That was his job. He was called a carpenter. Like maybe your their job is to go to the office and work on the computer. Well, Joseph's daddy, his job was to build things. And Jesus thought that that was really cool, and he wanted to learn how to do that. So instead of just picking up a saw and starting to saw, which he could have hurt himself as a little boy, right? He watched what his daddy did, and his daddy showed him how to do it safely, and then he got to do it on his own. And Jesus worked with his dad and got really good at making things out of wood too.
Is he making a house?
I don't know. Maybe. When Jesus was a little boy, he helped to do the chores. Do you guys know what chores are? Jobs around the house that you need to do to make your house clean.
So sometimes my chores are clean up my toys and help Henry, and today is to help Henry.
Yep. Jesus, it looked like one of his jobs or his chores was to sweep the floor. So even Jesus helped around the house. And he was a king, right? He had jobs just like us. And he did as much as he could. And then he did some more. So he did what his parents asked him to do. And then he did even things that they didn't ask him to do, like make his bed. Do any of you make your bed at home every day?
I know how to make my bed, and Sam does it all the time.
Oh,
But I want to do it all
that's
the time.
kind of her.
I don't know my bed.
When Jesus was a little boy, he loved his animal friends.
And Henry doesn't know how to make his bed. He has a tent on that can zip, and he thinks that's the way to make his bed, and that's really not, and to hide his bed. But my mommy and daddy opened it to see what his nest was.
Okay. So when Jesus was little, he liked to go outside and be with nature. He took care of the animals that lived out there. I like to do that. He gave his pets and his animals at his house clean water to drink and food, and even helped clean out their pens. So like a donkey lives in the pen, and that's where he goes potty too. So he'd have to clean up the donkey scats.
What was that?
Oh, I bet that was a not so fun job. And he was a king, and he still cleaned up the poop from his animals. What?
My Bobby just throws up.
When Jesus was a little boy, he liked to take a rest. He stopped his work to think and play. He knew he'd done his best. So he even took naps as a little boy when he got tired. Raise your hand if you still take naps at home sometimes.
I think naps are really bad.
Yeah, naps are
but
good.
I don't do it at work.
No. When Jesus was a little boy, he must have liked to sing. Lots of pictures of him singing.
Daddy, when he gives me story at night, I can't understand which page he's reading because he doesn't point.
Okay, listen.
Eleanor, let's
He
finish
sang
the
the
story.
songs his family loved, how God made everything. So he's sitting around a bonfire with his family singing songs. Does anybody ever do that in the summertime with their family? Do you sit around a bonfire and maybe tell stories or sing songs or roast marshmallows?
I roast marshmallows.
I love to do that.
But I made marshmallows one time into the whatever it's called.
I think it's pretty interesting that Jesus' family liked to do that too, just like us. When Jesus was a little boy, he would have liked to play with you. He would have been the perfect friend, so loving, kind, and true. It looks like he's helping these two friends that are having a disagreement or an argument. He's helping them solve their problems, being a good friend. That's really nice. So at the end of our story, it says Jesus was a little boy and a child just like you, right? And you can be like Jesus too in everything you do.
What is that little girl? Is that Samantha's book?
No, this is my book. So boys and girls, if you guys want to be more like Jesus, help around the house, listen to your mom and dad, make good choices when you're at school with your friends.
We're already at school.
And I may look at you and say, wow, I can see Jesus in you. I can see him in you. You are so much alike. Okay? We're going to bring around your journals.